Hi, I'm Noel. Part of my mission is to get good psychological information out there to you so that you can learn more about yourself and about other people and how to live a psychologically healthy and happy life. Why do people look for someone to blame in a crisis? Well, simply put, because it's easy in doing the emotional work for yourself if you can dump it in somebody else. So projection and dumping on somebody else is a good way of avoiding taking personal responsibility. It's particularly true if you have a background where you've experienced something similar, say growing up, maybe from your family or your parents, you were scapegoated yourself. You're more likely to continue that behavior with other people. Sometimes it's about just group dynamics. There's a thing called, for example, the bystander effect, where people are frozen in large groups and they witness something that in their everyday life they wouldn't tolerate, but the size of the group sort of gets them to be silent around it. You see it a lot on social media, for example. So a troll gets on and starts abusing somebody, and very few people step in to say, that's wrong, please stop it. But generally, scapegoating from a psychological perspective is about the person who is doing the scapegoating is trying to avoid something they can't tolerate about themselves. So if you think about the term scapegoat itself, it comes from the idea of when we were sort of more nomadic and in the wild, we would build a camp for the evening, and there were sort of lions and tigers who wanted to eat us. And so to avoid being eaten by them, we would take a goat and we would stake it out of the camp. And the goat would be taken by the lions and tigers. The idea being that the predator was less likely to come into our camp when we needed to rest. So to that type of thing, it feels like a survival issue that somehow we're under threat, and it's just the simplest, most straightforward way in some ways for us to stake somebody as outside of the camp, outside of the group, and to divert the threat away from ourselves. So, look, have that instead of me. Sometimes, though, it is a deliberate strategy by people who are quite dark in their functioning and they want to avoid responsibility. They want to get people to look the other way because they're doing something wrong themselves. And you often see that in politics, for example. There are people involved in politics who will blame other people as a way of you not noticing the bad things they're doing, so that you don't look at them. You look at the other person, and in that way, it's a sort of smoke screen. It's diverting attention away from themselves. So those are the range of reasons. It's much better in life to be compassionate towards another human being and compassionate towards yourself. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.